Senator Alexander says if you need to know anything about him, you can just find him on the street, walking down the street, and ask him a question. What would you like to ask Senator Alexander, if anything?
Senator Alexander, why did you vote for amnesty?
That's a good question.
It was just curious to know why, being a conservative Republican, he votes with Barack Obama 62% of the time, who's a liberal Democrat.
Yeah.
A very left Democrat. I can't understand that.
I'm a military wife of 27 years. My husband is currently serving at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He's an Apache pilot. And I'm upset and angry at Lamar for his vote against the veterans.
His advertisements indicate that he is a conservative. He's going back to be a conservative, yet all the scores that he gets seem to indicate, from places like the Heritage Action, seem to indicate he's at best middle of the road, at best.
Well, you get a response saying that he'll respond soon, and then when you get the response, it's a boilerplate response that just isn't effective, doesn't answer the question. I understand he can't talk to everybody like he wants to, but I just don't get good responses, and he's not a good fighter. He doesn't argue with people that are taking us in a really wrong direction.
The folks at the Beat Lamar Rally were told that they had to keep moving on the sidewalks. They could be on the sidewalks, but they couldn't stand still because the Lamar Alexander people have the sidewalks permitted, and only they can stand on the sidewalks.
Did you make that yourself? Yeah.
Music Row, I'd like to introduce Kix Brooks.
The gentleman that we have here today has spent most of his life serving the great state of Tennessee, and he's spent a lifetime doing it in just about every capacity in Washington, D.C.
They're all supporting me, and when the race gets close, I'm going to dig up the dead ones and get them for me as well. There's some other people nearby with their point of view. Let me give you mine as quickly as I can. The stakes in this election are high. Republicans have a chance to get the majority in the Senate. And if we get a majority in the Senate, I want to be a part of that majority. Tennesseans respect the fact that those of us who are elected are expected not just to make a speech, but to get results. I've tried to do the same thing in Washington, D.C. We changed the law to make it harder to make medicine safer. We changed the law to make student loans. You'll give me a chance to serve 6 more years. I'll go to work reversing the trend on the National School Board, fixing the debt, and creating more jobs in this country and getting it moving again. Thank you so much for being here.
I will have to give Lamar one thing. The one thing he's passionate about is campaigning. He's not passionate about protecting conservative values, never has been. He's not passionate about being a good representative for a deeply red state of Tennessee, but he's passionate about campaigning and getting back in power. That's the one thing that gets Lamar up in the morning and gets his blood flowing.
Are you surprised he said nothing in this speech about illegal immigration?
He said nothing. It was all platitudes, one political platitude after another, and that's what he does. And people were clapping like he was actually saying something. He was saying nothing. He never says anything of substance. He's unwilling to debate his opponents. He acts like his opponents are pretenders to his throne and that he should just ascend to his throne like royalty. It is arrogance personified. It is typical of establishment politicians, and that's why we've got to work so hard to put somebody else in Washington, D.C., somebody like Joe Carr who represents us.